Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while since I last filmed a video, and that's because I had so many breakouts the past month. You guys might be able to see it now, but last week I had so many breakouts on my chin and cheeks. I just didn't want to be in front of the camera at all. So that's why I have like this huge gap in between videos sometimes, just because like my skin isn't feeling it. Fortunately, my skin has calmed down a lot since then, and I really wanted to get out this video for you guys because I've been using these products for a month already. So today I'm going to be showing you guys two things I bought from a brand I've always wanted to try, and that is eSpoir. So right now I have with me the Pro Tailor Foundation BeSilk and the Chang'e Moonlight Lookbook Palette. I grabbed these two items off of StyleKorean.com, and every week they're always doing some kind of special sales. So if you want to look out for anything in particular, you should look out for StyleKorean every week. And the week I bought this, there was like a 60% off eSpoir sale, so I took advantage of that. And eSpoir is a brand I always kind of wanted to try just because I always saw it on the website and the products looked really good, but it's just that the price was kind of a bit too high for my liking, so I could never justify buying it at full price. In case you guys are wondering, this Lookbook palette was going for $35 originally, and this foundation is actually $38. But with the sale, this is like $11 compared to the original $38, and it's because I think that was like the last stock sale because you cannot find this on the website anymore. And this, I think I got it for like $17.99, so that's a pretty good price. I'm just gonna start with the eyeshadow palette first because I like to do my eye makeup first. Please pardon my Mandarin pronunciation throughout this video, but here is the Chang'e Moonlight Lookbook palette from eSpoir. And if you follow eSpoir as a brand, you would know they have a lookbook series usually revolving around a theme or a color story. So this is, I would call it like their purple palette. So I bought this in January, but I believe they already had this available in 2021, and when I first saw it I was just really mesmerized by the packaging because just like look at this. This is not cardboard outside, this is actually cloth material, and as you can see it's all the different phases of the moon. And then here's the back. And I have a little crazy story about this palette. So when I first saw it, I was kind of confused because I do follow a lot of like Korean makeup people on Instagram and YouTube, and I did not see anyone talk about this at all. So I was just like, is this a real palette? It's like, why is it only on StyleKorean.com? Also, yeah, you cannot find this anywhere else on any other site, only on StyleKorean.com. So I was just really curious, like, what's going on? Why is it not existing in other sites? I pretty much found out that this was a region exclusive palette, not even released in Korea. So I was even more motivated to buy this because it's kind of like an exclusive collector's item. So I'm really glad that StyleKorean carried this. So let me just open it up for you guys. So the inside looks like this. Oh. And it has this see-through covering. And here's the text. Once upon a time, under the delicate moonlight, where the rabbit and goddess Chang'e live. Have you guys like seen this cursive? It was really hard to read, I'm sorry. Here's the color story of this palette. So here's how each shade swatches on my arm from left to right. As you can see, there are 3 pearl matte shades, 2 shimmers, 1 glitter, and 1 matte blush. Something else I also noticed about this palette is that this is the first time that eSpoir has laid out their pans horizontally, because usually the lookbooks come out like this. I also like that this palette is beginner friendly because they pretty much grouped all the colors you need for a certain look. So the first row is supposed to be one look, and then the second row is supposed to be another look. But of course you can always mix and match the colors. You can like do whatever you want. Because I did own this palette for a month, I do know how each of the eyeshadows perform in my eyes. So in typical K-beauty fashion, you're not going to get super pigmented looks from this palette. In fact, I think it's really good for daily wear because it's just that subtle. So eSpoir has 2 recommended looks with these 2 rows. So the top row is called the Chang'e look, and the bottom row is called the Moon Bunny look. And today I'm going to be doing the Chang'e one. I have the shade Pink Haze as a base all over my upper eyelid and lower eyelid, and although it's not that pigmented, I think it's kind of buildable. So next I'm going to be using the shade Starry Night to add some depth into this look. And they said to just apply it all over your lid like this. And also at the bottom too. And for the last step, I'm going to be applying the shade Moonlight, which is probably the best shade in this palette, all over my lids. For a really sparkly look. It is really beautiful. So here's how the Chang'e look looks like on my eyes. And just for an extra sparkle, I'm going to add this huge glitter Milky Way on top. Just in the middle. Oh, Off camera, I quickly did my eyeliner and mascara, so next I'm going to be reviewing the Pro Tailor BeSilk foundation. I already put on my Suzanne primer off camera, so let's just get with the foundations. According to the official description of this foundation, it's supposed to leave you with a silky and smooth, bright complexion and adhere to your face all day, like 24 hours, which we know is kind of like a stretch when it comes to these foundations. It also claims to cover blemishes on the face, but as someone who used this many times, I can say that it is not full coverage enough for that. I really wanted to put a review on this foundation because when I was doing my research trying to figure out which shade I wanted or how the finish goes, I didn't really see that many videos of this foundation, even like among Korean YouTubers, because they prefer the cushion version. So I hope that this video will be helpful to anyone who is interested in this foundation. For the shade range of this foundation, they claim to offer 10 different shades from very light to deep, and depending on the website you buy this from, they might not have all shades available, so do take note of that. I believe when I was buying from StyleKorean, they only had 3 shades available, and that's also the same for oliveyoung.com. But you can also get this on Amazon, and I think they offer all 10 shades. So if you run darker than this, then you might want to head to Amazon. For me, when it came to deciding the shade, I was debating between 20, which I have right now, which is 20 vanilla, or the one I usually get, which is 21 ivory. But recently I've been in the mood for foundation that gives me like a really bright pale look, you know, like almost ghostly for some reason. Don't ask. So instead of getting my default 21, I decided to go a shade lighter this time for 20. And the more I've been using this, the more I feel like my previous foundations don't really match me as well. I do think my other foundations match me, but I've just been grabbing for this one more recently, just probably because it gives me that really bright complexion. I actually did wear this in my previous video, and I really liked how it looked like on my face. I do have swatch comparison of this eSpoir foundation compared to the ones I recently bought. So right here, this is the BeSilk in 20 vanilla, and this one is the Misha Blanc in 21, and over here is the Moonshot Calming Fit 101. So as you can see, I think this one, in person, this is a lot brighter than these two. It is 4 p.m. right now, so I shouldn't be wasting so much time. So let me just put this on my face for you guys. What I like to do is just like pump some on the back of my hand. And then using an eSpoir sponge that I bought from Amazon. It's not that good. It's kind of too stiff, like not enough bounce. But I still use it anyways. And then also, yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, this is a pretty watery, so you have to shake this foundation bottle before you use it. We'll just spread it around like this. And then with a sponge, and just spread it out. And with this foundation, you kind of have to be fast when it comes to application because it does set pretty fast because of its formulation. Off camera, I put on some more on my face because that wasn't enough. And I have used this with a brush and with my fingers, and I probably prefer using it. I probably prefer like the puff or fingers over the brush, just because foundation brushes kind of like emphasize my texture. So with a finger, I can do like this, all over my nasty red chin. God, I hate this area. So here's how my face looks like with one side with the foundation applied, and you can see quite a difference compared to before and after. This shade 20 matches me more just because it matches my neck without having to blend it. And for the sake of this video, I didn't put on any concealer beforehand, so my problem spots are usually like my dark eye circles and my acne scars here on my cheeks. And like I said before describing this foundation, it is not that full coverage enough to cover these spots, so you can still see them peeking underneath. I wonder how it looked like if I added more on top. Let's see. This is buildable, I believe. It's definitely not cakey like it claimed on the website. So if there are spots that need more coverage, you can always layer on more. Probably not much of a difference, but just to prove my point that this is not really a full coverage foundation, it is like light to medium buildable, which is not bad because it's like beginner friendly. And this is how full face of the foundation looks on, and I love the finish of this. Can you guys see? Like, here's a close-up. It doesn't really go into fine lines. I should have said this earlier in my video, but my skin is like combination oily normal. So like I suffer lots of sebum in my T-zone, and usually my cheeks are normal. So if you're combination skin like me, this is a pretty good foundation because you don't even have to apply any powder to set the foundation. Like it adheres so quickly to your skin compared to like the other foundations I own. And because I am oily in the middle of my face, I do set those areas of powder. But other than that, this is such a good foundation. But if you have a dry skin type, you might not like this foundation on you because my friend did buy this foundation with me, and since her skin is leaning more on the dry side, she said that her face kind of flaked a bit more with this foundation. To avoid any flakiness, I just make sure that my face is well moisturized before putting on this foundation, or else I will get like a bit flaky over here. I have seen it. Because of my terrible time management, I apply this foundation at 4 p.m. instead of doing what other YouTubers do, which is like apply it in the morning or early afternoon. So if you're hoping for an hourly check-in, I'm sorry, I can't really do that for this video just because I applied this so late. Unless I do an update at 12 a.m., which is kind of weird. However, the good news is that I have tested out this foundation many times way before 4 p.m. And based on my experience with this foundation, it does last a pretty long time on my skin throughout the day. Like the only problem is that it gets oily in the middle and that's it. I have worn a mask a couple times this foundation, and sadly I don't think this is a mask proof foundation. I forgot to mention this earlier, but there is a slight fragrance to it, but there's nothing overpowering. But if in case you don't like fragrance, then you might not want this foundation. The finish of this foundation is just so pretty and natural looking without overdoing it, and it lasts long on your skin. So that's why I love this foundation. Knowing how much I love this foundation after using it several times, I'm just so happy that I managed to get this for $11 only. Like, that's a really huge deal. Because I'm someone who generally doesn't buy from Western makeup brands over here, I don't know what would be a similar product to this one, but luckily this is easily available on Amazon or any other K-beauty retailer, and if you can find this on sale, then I definitely recommend getting this. It is so good. Since I finally have my foundation on, I can finally apply this blush shade from the Lookbook palette called Over the Moon. So it's a pretty bright pink blush, as you can see from that swatch I did. I'll just apply it with this brush. So yeah, it's really what'd you say? Not pigmented. So it's really good for a subtle flush on the cheeks. Is this showing on camera? I'm sorry. Here's just one application. Not that obvious. Off camera, I just applied a bunch of blush on my cheeks, so here's a close-up of how it looks. As you can see, it's a really cute color. Might not look like it much on camera, but in person it's pretty bright pink. And there you guys have it. That was a little tiny eSpoir one brand review from me. And I actually received these products before the Misha Valentine's Day box, but I was just so much more excited to do a video on that one. So overall, really beautiful foundation, gorgeous finish, lasts long for a long time, love it. And for this Chang'e Moonlight Lookbook Palette, it is a really cute collector's item from eSpoir, and you cannot get this anywhere else except StyleKorean.com. So if you really like a palette with a cute theme and a cute color story, then this is really good to own. Probably not worth the full price, so if you can find a discount, then you should get it. And that's all I have to say for this video. Don't look forward to a video I have in mind in the future. I don't think I'm gonna be buying anything anytime soon. So as usual, don't forget to leave a comment below, click on the like button, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!